some food in you. Step 3, you grow hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gon' rise to the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, you grow hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Andrea, aka Bullhorn Betty here. Look what I found. It looks like a lot of people on YouTube. Right here. Right here. This is a real ass right here. Like many people on YouTube. All you need to do is show an asshole a little love. Right? Right? Tell him. What you need to do? What you need to do? Huh? What you need to do? Oh, too many assholes on YouTube. Say it. Say it with me, baby. Say, there's just too many people. Too many people on YouTube that look like you, huh? So the next time you want to be an ass, maybe you should come out here and hang out with the ass. Just saying. You want to be a jackass? There's your brother. Peace out. Bullhorn Betty style. Well, good afternoon, folks. How you doing? How you doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Sorry for the late start. You know, I get up this morning and I see Dolly on live, so I decided to turn it on. What the heck, right? I got a lot of errands done. I went grocery shopping. Meanwhile, just listening. That's some insane stuff this morning. I gotta say. Funny stuff though. But one thing we did find out today is Bullhorn Betty is safe on Saturday, right? Safe on Saturday. Little Dave and Mom, thank you for the golden egg, for saving me, giving me immunity this Saturday. We'll see if we can keep that up. My niece, Anissa, maybe that's why they think you're my niece, is because it says Anissa. A niece? All right, Anissa, I'm done playing with you. She was the first to say good morning, by the way. And she's happy to say she beat Crazy Nurse. I'm sure Crazy Nurse is somewhere around here being crazy. Great. GM, nice to see you. Nice to see you from across the pond. Miss Robin, I am Team Summer. Bullhorn Betty is present. I put the link up at the top because we're going to go over some stuff. If you guys want to come on panel, it's kind of an open panel. We're just going to kind of chat. There's a lot of crap in the news, as always, and we're going to run through it. But after that, I've got nothing but time on my hands, baby. We're here. Ronnie, nice to see ya. Karen Davis. Cotton Candy Boobs. Woo. Good morning to you too. Who else do we got in here? Susanna from Louisiana. What's up? I seen a lot of you guys cheating on me this morning. Couldn't get your coffee fixed, so you have to go over to the Dalai Lama. Traitors, every one of you. No, I'm just joking. I was there too, but shh, don't tell nobody. Kathy, nice to see you. Kim, nice to see you. Good morning. What else we got? Jules, nice to see you. Debbie Thompson. Miss Deb. Nana of 7. I hope you're doing well. I was Nana of 3. Do you get a little more bald being a Nana of 7 from pulling your hair out? I'm just joking. Nice to see you, Jackie and Jay. Don't forget to hit the smash the like button on your way in here. This is going to be I'm coming really late today, so I don't know who's on this time of day because I'm never on this time of day. I'm usually researching one solved mystery. Nice to see you. Usually researching. I actually was going to be meeting Olivia today, but I've got so much stuff that I've got to get done here before her and I leave. We are leaving tomorrow, but we're not going to Mississippi tomorrow. Mississippi is not for a couple more weeks or a week or something like that. We're actually going over to Osceola County. We're going to renew our search efforts into the disappearance of Paola Miranda Rosa. Many of you guys know, if you guys have been following me for some significant time. Well, here, let me just play this. This will help bring some stuff back to you. Let me find it. I think it's this one right here.
The day I met Bullhorn Betty and Jonathan Lee Ridges, they were protesting in front of the Laundrie's home. I began to document them, and little did I know, the three of us would spend the next few months traveling together. Nothing scares us, even if it means crossing a freezing cold river and getting wet. We put our lives in danger because we want to find answers. It gives us purpose, even if it means going undercover to get those answers, or visiting the scene of a crime and paying our respects. Searching for the truth isn't easy. It gets you out of your comfort zone. It makes you see things in a different perspective. And it's this perspective that we want the world to see. At the end of the day, we fight for justice. We fight for those who don't have a voice. We fight for those who were silenced. Our next case, we search for Paula Miranda. She was last seen swimming in this river. Here's our Paula's family. Found 2 footprints they believe belonged to her. She left her phone and keys in her car. Her sister tells us that's extremely unusual for her to do that. Stay tuned as we venture deep into Wekiwa Springs State Park to help find her.
So there you guys have it. We've already been out there. We've made 2 separate trips out there to search in those woods for her. This particular search is going to be a little different for us, as we're going to be looking at other avenues in relation to her disappearance, as opposed to, environmental issues that, we had to go through all of them. So she was out in the state park. It had very limited cell tower. You had to have an app to navigate the park. Very easily to be turned around. We actually got turned around at least once. Yep, that's Chronicles of Olivia. If you guys are new and don't know who she is amazing. We were fortunate enough to meet her in front of Brian Laundrie's house. And our friendship has just grown immensely over this last year. She's practically family to me now. We communicate quite often. Yes, she has a beautiful voice. She has a beautiful voice, and she does amazing work. She does amazing work. She makes me look good, right? She makes me look good. She makes us all look good. She's phenomenal at her craft. She's absolutely, without a doubt, very phenomenal at her craft. And her craft is not just, her craft is production. Many don't realize it's not just movie or video production. It's also music. She's very talented. Olivia is by far one of the most talented people I've had the privilege of knowing in a very, very long time. The world is her oyster. She has, I can foresee her having a lot of great success as she, keeps doing what she loves to do. And very proud of her, and just very honored to be her friend and call her friend. She's very genuine. She's very genuine. So I have, the language of letting go, and I wasn't going to read this because it is extremely long. But when I did look at it, I thought it was definitely something that people needed to hear. So I'm not going to read the entire thing. There are some stuff that I can just, and it's when I get to some of the ideas to help. I'm just going to say the title of it. I'm not going to read the instruction behind it. So this is and the reason, and you guys will get it once I start reading it, you'll get it. But this is let your intuition help guide you. It's for July 29th. And it says, paying very close attention to your intuition is perhaps the most important rule of all. For many years, I used intuition or spiritual guidance only in times of deep need, crisis, and despair. It was a last resort. I didn't know the word intuition. What I knew then was to plow forward, figure it out in my head the best I could, and then proceed. Occasionally, I would find myself backed into a corner or at a dead end. Then and only then would I go to intuition. And I didn't go to it. It came to me. Over the years, intuition has become critically important. I recently made a friend who is a highly intuitive woman. She would encourage me to learn to go with the flow and relax. Practice at the grocery store, she said. Practice using your intuition in the small details of your life, those times you don't think that really matter. If you practice using intuition on the smaller details, you'll begin to be able to trust your intuition in important matters too. I can't, I said. Yes, you can, she said. Just practice.
Over the years, I slowly moved toward intuition and away from solely rational thought. It was an awkward journey. I was propelled along the road after Shane died. For a long period, I was deeply into my emotions. I came to rely on my intuition more and more. Now, intuitive guidance is a regular part of my daily life, but for those who feel as awkward and stymied about the accessing intuition as I once did, let me give you a few ideas that help me. Consciously relax. Ask yourself what feels right. If you don't know what to do, let it go. As with most other areas of our life, practicing to relax and learning to trust ourselves is key. Often the intuition answer is something that feels like a natural thing to do. Sometimes our intuition tells us to do something that looks absurd at first glance. Honor this connection. We all have honor this connection. We all have to information. We all have to, I think there's a misspelling here. We all have information beyond the scope of rational thought. You'll make silly mistakes from time to time. Most of us do. And don't discount the power of rational thought and plain common sense. But in times of indecision, let intuition be regular, not a last resort. Resource you readily rely on. So I thought that was good. A lot of us, don't use our intuition. Intuition is a great thing. It's what guides me, almost daily. Oh, nice to see you, John. A few other people came in here. Guidance, nice to see you. Redmilla, I said hi to you, Ronnie, I believe. She ran Calling Wildfire. Nice to see you as well. I laugh every time I see your video clip with the donkey. No. There's a reason for that, right? And it was because I was watching Dolly and you guys, chit-chatting it up. And at the end of it, it was about, BK and Ernie, right? And it's like, I'm almost willing. I don't know how many. If you guys put like a 1 in the chat, if you're almost willing to get on the bandwagon with Dolly. Dolly challenged everybody to bet how long this bromance is going to go on. I'm almost ready to throw 20 down on this bromance. He thinks it's going to be a week. I personally think those boys got it for at least 30 days. I'm not sure what you guys think, but I'm curious. How long do you think this bromance between Ernie and BK will last? My bromance with BK didn't last very long. You guys saw that. Like he was ready to, telling me sharpen iron, we can work together. That was in January. And by like week 2, he hated me again. Holy crap. A half hour, John Davis says. 2 months, less than 2 months. Not long. Guys, I'm thinking we need to get on this. Dolly thinks a week. I think we can take Dolly's money. I think we can take some of that money. Sorry, Turtle. Sorry, Turtles. I know you guys give freely, but I want some of that turtle money. I'm ready to put my money down, make a bet. I say 30 days or less. Well, I can't because his would be part of that 30 days or less. So I will give it 28 and a half days. GM says 1 day. Oh, I'm going to do 28 and a half days. Put me $20 on 28 and a half days. BK, don't do me wrong. 2 egos. I know. 2 egos that big, no way. I guess I need to go check in at Dolly's. Right? So good morning, everybody. We're already having fun. This is the good thing about coming in a little later. Most of us are a little awake, a little more awake than we would normally be. And it's nice. It's nice. I'm definitely awake. And I got to say, listening to good stuff, not people bickering and bitching and all this other nonsense that goes on the streets of YouTube, it does brighten your day. I think Dolly Vision was right about that. It brightens your day. You choose to wake up in a crappy, run down mood. or you can choose to wake up and be happy and be the, create your own happiness. I like that. It was pretty darn good advice. I actually think I might clip that and start running it in the morning to remind everybody. Don't strike me, Dolly. Refreshing, yeah. But with all the good fun we have, we are true crime. So then we have to get into the disgusting part of the underbelly of the United States and around the country, right? Because we just got some disgusting people. Disgusting people. And no matter how we feel about, Ernie or BK for that matter, they're not near what we discuss, And I'm glad, to be honest with you, just my little 2 cents on the matter. I much rather see everybody get along than be down each other's throats, taking YouTube life to real life. I can handle this all day long. I know I'm poking fun at it, but I really do hope Ernie and Benny can lay it down. They are absolutely right. This is not good for the streets of YouTube, although entertaining and although captivating. I mean, let's be honest, the bickering and the fighting, it attracts people, right? We hear Jonathan Lee Riches has a new page. If you guys haven't subbed up to his new page, he has a new page. It sounds like Dolly's setting up a new page, Snapping Turtles. Let me ask you guys this. Everybody around me setting up these second accounts, right? And we know we don't like drama, but I have to think it's kind of therapeutic in a way to have some place that let out some of the stuff we wouldn't let out on, say, this channel. So I'm thinking about a Bullhorn Betty snapped, like the what is it? The Lifetime snapped, where people snap. I'm thinking about doing Bullhorn Betty snapped, ED, like snapped chat instead of Snapchat. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Maybe it should be BHB Raw. WWE. Oh, for sure. A leak to this channel. I know. But, we could talk about other things on that channel too that I wouldn't normally talk about on this one, as well. Because this one I want to keep strictly to the children and the missing and the, people that need the victims. But I still think we need to have, like, even our Friday nights, they really need to be on a different channel because it really is not consistent with what this channel is, So I'm kind of thinking about that. And then we could do probably a little more stuff because I'm not really going to be monetizing that channel. So I can talk about the stuff I can't talk on this channel about. Even with the cases, there's some cases that I cannot bring on this channel because of the descriptive nature of the charges. And many of like, even I'm sure John Davis has had to turn down speaking about a particular case because people won't get it. By the time we R and M and SSA and ST every way through the charges, nobody's going to know what the hell they're charged with, Oh, thank you. But so there's just some, like, especially with the children. I did a video on Harmony Montgomery, outlining the charges of her father when the charges were added, for her eye issue that he was alleged to have done. I did a video on that, and that because it was because it was descriptive. They wouldn't, I went ahead and released it. It wasn't monetized, in this channel, we need monetized. So have a great day, John. It was nice for you to pop by. We are going to be going over, I don't know, before you leave, John, I don't know if you watched the video, but I've got this video out where Don Wells is saying it just really shows you the depravity of this man. Like, he is just, to me, is Satan. Don Wells is Satan to me. He is the serpent in the Bible. He is the wolf in sheep clothing. And hearing him talk about his oldest daughter like that just almost seals the deal with me with Summer. I don't know where, when he said that. I don't know when he talked about that. I actually clipped that, not from her channel. I clipped that from a clip of a clip, you know, like it was from another clip channel that I heard it and I just clipped it. Right. I don't know who he was interviewing with, but if it was Cher, I want to hear that whole entire interview because I only got that little bit of clip and holy crap, that was gross. It was just gross. And you guys are going to be floored when I release the other video today. And it's kind of just grabbing all the clips that Don has said that's been outlandish and just, I don't know. I don't know. The man is twisted. The man is twisted. And that's why I go off every time I hear him say young lady about Summer. Because if he thinks she's a kid, he won't touch her. Because he know, a young kid, because, that's what he said on Chris McDonough with that Mary call, when she was setting him up. And he was going on telling her about her sister, what is it, Jeannie or Jenny, or I think it's Jeannie, about what he did to her. And he's like, she was just a little girl, and I guess she didn't realize this, and calling her a little girl. And like, I know, now that I'm an adult, I was young at the time. I know now something or other, you don't mess with little girls. And then you hear him refer to his daughter as a young lady instead of a little girl. It unnerves me. It absolutely unnerves me. He's delusional. And when you hear what I'm about to release today, you're going to hear how sick he is. Like, and it's almost creepish because I heard the same type of language in that Chris McDonough interview where he's like, I can't believe that she likes me, talking about his stepsister. I couldn't believe that she was actually paying me attention and liking me and actually liked me, or, how he was going on. And it was like, man, this guy is really delusional, very delusional. And then you're going to hear, I don't want to keep you guys from watching it. So I'm going to stop there. But you guys are going to have to watch it. You're going to have to watch it. It will be released. I haven't even prepared it yet, but I've already got everything downloaded. It's just literally putting it together and putting a thumbnail on it and getting it released. But I definitely want you guys to watch it because it just, to me, just shows you the level of sick mind this man has. And it's hard. Like I said, even with Jody Sue coming out and talking about the Andy selling and all that other stuff, that bombshell, the reason why it's hard for me to believe her is because she lies about everything. But when you hear this coming out of Don's mouth and you hear what I'm about to release today coming out of Don's mouth, it makes those things almost reality for us in connection. I mean, for many of us, we've thought about it. We've thought about it a lot. We believed it happened, but there's no concrete evidence that it did. And it makes you wonder. DCF was coming over the next day. The very next day. Of all days for Summer just to disappear. And many of us have questioned that since the day we heard about this story. He's a predator. He is. He is. And he acts like it. And when you hear him talk, when I put these pieces together and you hear him talk, I truly believe you guys will hear just how sick and twisted this man is. I think I'm hoping that that's the message I'm trying to drive home. And we'll see if I've accomplished it, but I will release it. It'll probably be released anywhere between 3 and 6 p.m. tonight. 3 and 6 p.m. tonight, maybe a little after, depends on when I get it done. Yesterday, I was able to push out a lot of videos. Today, not so much. Because I'm getting a late start. I probably should have done them, but I was enjoying my morning. I was enjoying my morning with all of you guys. I really was. I was there with you. I was there with you. Yes. And the best thing is, because we will not keep quiet, right? We're not team keep quiet. We're not team that advocates if something violent happens to you like that, you don't complain. You complain as loud as possible. And if you need help, you come over here to the Bullhorn Betty channel and we will give you whatever help you need. I guarantee that. Come hell or high water, I will help anybody in need. And I'm sorry, but if you're 18 and something like that happens to you, you don't put up with it. You put your foot down, you stand up, you say something. It's not your fault. And I never want any female or male to ever believe that it's their fault. Not here. This is your safe space. Wildfire, Don won't be in the resurrection. He is going straight to hell. And you know what? There are just some things you can't come back from. I mean, granted, God may forgive you. But I don't know. I mean, they say in the Bible that if you ask God for forgiveness and repent, that means you can no longer lie about what happened. You have to repent. Without repenting, you're really not asking for forgiveness. You're just wanting a free pass, in my opinion. I don't think the Bible provides that. I think the payment for forgiveness is to repent. Maybe somebody that's more, more into, I mean, I'm a religious person, but I'm not a Bible thumper. I listen to Christian music in my car, but I don't go to church every Sunday. If I go to church, 6 times a year, that's a good year for me. I need to get back into church a little more. I know that, I do pray a lot. I pray in the mornings when I wake up. I pray in the evenings when I go to bed. But I've learned a long time ago, gotta repent. And it has to be real. Yeah, it has to be real. From my personal experience, he only uses the verses to use as a crutch. Yeah, I agree. And it seems like he always goes biblical when things get tough. He is a jailhouse Christian, right? When he's realizing he's facing jail and now all of a sudden he's a Christian. When he's not facing jail, not facing going to jail or prison, he goes out there and drowns himself in substances and booze. Yeah. It's definitely up to the Lord. That's true. I can't judge for him. Nobody on this earth is going to be able to judge my way into heaven or hell, right? It's up to one. My creator. Okay, so let's just get started. I know we just kind of went on a little, just wanted to chat with you guys a little bit, have a little fun this morning, get kind of adjusted because it's afternoon. I'm not used to afternoon. Usually we're tightening it up and I'm doing research at this point. But I'm glad Dolly took my job from me this morning. I really wasn't ready. I really wasn't. I had so much on my mind. I probably would have been distracted, but I was able to run my errands, get my stuff done this morning, and make it back to do a live. I'm A-okay. So here's some news out of Oregon. Did I say that right? Oregon? What is it? Louisville, it's like I used to say Louisville, or I can't remember but it's Louisville. And I think the people out there call it Louisville or something like that. So I'm sorry, I'm not the best. So anyways, an Oregon man was arrested after a missing woman, 18, was found with puncture wounds. And I hadn't really read this, but this seemed interesting to me because, obviously she's over the age of 18. But Riddle, Oregon, a 39-year-old man was arrested after a missing 18-year-old woman was found dead in a creek. On July 18th, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office announced that Kendra Hanks was reported missing. On Thursday, July 7th, she was reported last seen walking on Highway 42 toward Winston from her place of work on Ingram Drive. I didn't pin this, so we're not going to be able to see where she was walking and stuff like that. Nearly a week after she was last seen, on July 13th, the sheriff's office said Hank's body was discovered in Cows Creek at the 9,000 block of Cows Creek Road. The body was found, had puncture wounds in the chest and neck. Hank's body was reportedly transported to the Oregon State Medical Examiner's office for an autopsy. So it looks like we should be, when was this, this came out the 28th. So we should be close to getting, usually it takes 2 or so weeks to get the autopsy back. But I'm wondering if this is probably one where she was obviously abducted. And we don't hear a lot of actual abductions. And I'm wondering if this guy knew her prior to, or if this was a stranger danger type of situation for this young woman. I mean, he was significantly older than her by 21 years. So I'm curious as to what their relationship was. And, but this does kind of make me feel like they didn't know each other, and he saw her walking and abducted her, and whatever happened to her happened. And I believe we're probably going to find out something like SA allegations or attempted SA on her for whatever reason. I just kind of feel that way. This doesn't state that here. The day that Hank was last seen on July 7th, security camera footage revealed her walking home in a vehicle believed belonging to Troy Phelps, was seen driving around Hank's neighborhood around 4 p.m. KEZI reports that the driver reportedly contacted Hanks, and she was allegedly seen entering the car. According to the affidavit obtained by KEZI, Hanks was last seen in the passenger seat of the car through a rolled down window at approximately 4:16 and appeared to be in distress. The car was allegedly heading west on Riddle Bypass Road, going toward the location where Hank's body was discovered. So if you guys are in this area and know where all this stuff is, if you have any information, please contact law enforcement in your area to tell them of your what you know. This is very sad, but it just has all these hallmarks. Not that my speculation is correct, but time will tell. We're going to definitely put her name on the search. Where is her name? So I do searches every day to tell us what. So we keep up to date on this stuff. So that was just one case. There was some other stuff in here that came out in the last 24 hours that I'm just unable to discuss. Some of the stuff is pretty graphic, and it's just not suitable for this particular channel. But again, that would be something that I'd put on the Snapped channel. And I think that this would be good. We're covering the Alex Murdaugh case. I don't know how many of you guys, this is late in the afternoon, so I probably have a lot. Hey, June, nice to see you. I probably have several people that I don't normally have in this chat, because when I go in the morning, we have, our normal people that come in here every morning as they're going to work. And being this late in the day, there's a lot of people that are at work that can't attend, this channel right now. So for those that are new to this channel or just catching my live, if you guys haven't seen, I've been covering also the Alex Murdaugh case, which is a saucy case out of South Carolina that has a lot of twists and turns to it. It's got all the glitz and glamour of the high life. The pedigree of the people involved are very, very good pedigree. This is a family that has a huge multi-generation legacy, that has a huge law firm in South Carolina that has been the state prosecutor or the prosecutor of their county for 3 generations, not 3 decades, 3 generations. This one family held that prosecutorial office in their community. Just a very high pedigree of people. This was the elite of their community. And Alec Murdaugh's son Just to give you guys a little background, there was a lot of things that happened. Some deaths that happened prior to his son getting in a boat wreck, like his oldest son, Buster's best friend, was killed and lying in the middle of the road. Then you have the housekeeper of the Murdochs that apparently fell down a flight of stairs and died. Then you have the son taking off in the father's boat underage, getting drunk on alcohol, and ended up, they took the boat to a dock, got off a dock and went partying at a few bars there. He had a fake ID with him. And then they get in the boat. He wrecks that boat into a bridge piling, which one girl, I believe her name was Mallory Beach, she was 19 years old, had passed away. And of course, that civil suit opened his father up to financial liability for his son, his underage son. And apparently he had been embezzling from his law firm for years. Scheming, defrauding, embezzling, all those horrible things that you as an elitist should not be doing, right? He was on some sort of substances, addicted to some substances. I was told it was, pharmaceuticals, but it could have escalated from the pharmaceuticals. Then shortly thereafter, all this stuff with his son, this stuff is starting to come to a head in the civil action area for his son, and his son and wife get murdered. And the case with his son pretty much goes away because his son was murdered. And during this, I think like 2 or 3 days after this, his father dies after he visits him. So now they started looking into his finances, realized that he has embezzled $8.5 million. He's arrested on that. They start looking deeper into his past and realize the suspicious circumstances around his wife and son, and then bring charges against the wife and son. And then yesterday we talked about how he now has co-defendants. These are people that worked with him in an effort for the scheme of defrauding their clients. And another co-defendant was actually brought forth and arrested in connection with defrauding people. And then we get this, and it looks like his former bank CEO, Murdoch's associate, posts bond. So one of his co-conspirators that were found during this has now posted bonds. So I just wanted to read this because we have been following this case. And, there are people that are interested in the updates of what's going on with this case. So I just wanted to read. This is in Colombia. And mind you, this was an attorney. Alec Murdoch was an attorney, and he is a disgraced attorney that they have now revoked his license to practice law. And I can guarantee that even if he overcomes these charges or the majority of these charges, he will never practice law again. Colombia, the Attorney General, Alan Wilson, will soon make one of the defining decisions of his 12 years as South Carolina's top prosecutor. Now, remember, I told you that Alan Wilson was just voted in, and again, 12 years ago. But prior to that, the Murdoch family held Alan Wilson's position for over 3 generations. 3 generations. And I'm sure many people thought it was a bone to pick when he started investigating these as him being the opposition, as it being political in nature. But this was not political in nature at all. This guy got away with all of this because of who he was, and it came to a head and exploded. Hey, Miss Deb, nice to see you. Pebbles, it's nice to see you. So 12 years as a top prosecutor, whether to seek the death penalty. And this is the other thing. They may be seeking the death penalty. That's what the reason why I pulled this one up. They may be seeking the death penalty for Alex Murdoch. So we're going to read this. So whether to seek the death penalty for Alex Murdoch. The disbarred Hampton County attorney charged with killing his wife and son last June. It won't be an easy call, experts say. Wilson office weighs a host of consideration, from the strength of the state's evidence to the wishes of the victim's family, who happens to be Murdoch's relatives as well. Whatever he decides, Wilson's reasoning will face extraordinary scrutiny, possibly by the Colton County jury, but certainly in the court of public opinion. A national audience has followed every twist of the Murdaugh murder mystery for more than a year. They have watched Murdaugh's family, our life unravel amid rolling series of indictments and lawsuits alleging once respected 54-year-old trial attorney secretly stole more than $8 million over the past decade from his legal clients who trusted him. Already, the case has brought unwanted attention to shortcomings in the state's legal and banking professions, systems that allowed Murdaugh and his alleged co-conspirators to betray the trust of their unsuspecting, mostly blue-collar clients. Now the Murdaugh saga collides with decade-old debate over the death penalty and its uneven enforcement in South Carolina. Black people make up just over a quarter of the state's population, yet represents nearly 74% of those who are executed in the past century. Murdaugh, the white scion of power and a wealthy family of lawyers, would be an unusual capital defendant. Though he has been charged with more than 80 criminal offenses over the past year, he has no prior criminal record. In fact, his family is far more accustomed to the other side of the courtroom. Murdaugh's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather served as elected top prosecutor for the state's 14th Judicial Circuit. Listen to this. For a total of a whopping 86 consecutive years. His family has been in this top prosecutor's position, his family, for 86 consecutive years until 2006. So I have to believe that this is going to weigh very hard, the decision on Alan Wilson as to what to do here, because this is a family that had his position for 86 some odd years. But the problem here is you have to apply the law equally, right? Skin color doesn't have crap to do with your crime. It's sad that those are the statistics in that area. But I'm sorry. A father doing this to his own wife and son, if convicted, to me, should absolutely, hands down, face the death penalty. That family trusted that man more than anybody else in this world. A husband and a father. He's supposed to sit there and make sure that his family is protected. And for him to take that trust and do something so despicable to his own flesh and blood. We're not talking about the wife. Okay, I get it. Husbands and wives, they do despicable things to themselves. But they're children. 22-year-old son ambushed by his father. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Nope. That is a death penalty case, in my opinion. If anything was deserving of a death penalty case, it's that. It's that. So, I hope they consider it. And I don't care what kind of backlash. Sometimes doing the right thing, sometimes you're standing on that hill all by yourself. You're standing on that hill all by yourself. But you know what? At the end of the day, the decision you made was the right decision, period. And I hope Alan Wilson makes the right decision and makes this a capital case. Not today. I'm not really taking calls today, but I do have the StreamYard pinned up top if you'd like to come on. I don't have to show your face. You'll come on and I can just move it from this. From this to just this. So if you don't want people seeing you, we can listen to you. So it's kind of like kind of the same thing, but not. Yeah, he's always gotten away with everything in his life because he was the family that grew up with the golden spoon in their mouth. Screw the silver spoon. These people, platinum spoon, probably be more appropriate. And he's never had to be held responsible. Think about think about how much trouble he could have gotten into as a teenage boy. And it doesn't matter because his family was the prosecutors, right? So he's probably been getting out of trouble based upon his name, his brand, his legacy, many, 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 many more. Oh, yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close. What is our numbers out right now? I know we're definitely getting close. Let's see where we're at. Give me just 2 shakes. Actually, I might have it here. Just a second. Didn't hit the button. Okay, there we go. We're getting close. So we are at, what'd that be? 146. So we're only 146 subscribers away from hitting the 10,000. I'm super excited. I really am. To be honest with you, many of you guys don't know, but that 10,000 mark was a goal that I set for what I'd like to accomplish in 12 months. And so it's being done a lot sooner than the 12-month marker, several months before the 12-month marker. So I am really excited. I really am. I'm very proud of everything that we've been able to do together. We try to build a decent culture on this channel. And, although we do, kind of get a little drama-y here and there, it's kind of hard not to get sucked into it every now and again. We try to maintain a semi or semblance of a drama-free zone, where we're not attacking other creators. Now, and there's some nuances to that. For example, we've talked about BK at links, but he was, he interjected himself into the case, right? He was up there with Don and Candus, and so was Cam and Allie. So, and so was Ernie for that matter. So they put themselves into this case. We didn't hang out with them. So I'm definitely gonna, whatever. But we try to keep a somewhat of a drama-free zone here where we're not bickering back and forth. It's kind of like one and done. Yeah. So she says, restitution is in order, Don and Candus. What happens in the dark always comes to light. There's Summer's blood. There's Summer's blood on your hands, or on yours and Candus's hands, along with a few others. Yeah, there was a lot of people that failed these children. A lot of people that failed. All the children, even the children from the people that came over and hung out with Candus and Don, they all seem to have some major problems. Major life problems, and they all have children. So all their children are living similarly in reality, right? So in, the research I did this morning, part of that is Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, and there was some news that came out through the Daily Mail that basically says Brian may have made 2. Let me turn this off before it starts playing and blasting in our ears. They say that Brian may have made 2 more confessions, including recording one on a digital device. Lawyers for Gabby Petito's parents say. So they're starting to get into the discovery of their civil case. I believe their next hearing is August 4th, if I'm going off my mind, of what I said. And if that's the case, Olivia, as well as myself, will be present in that courtroom to document what is going on these hearings, in these hearings, rather. And it says a bombshell revelation reveals that Brian Laundrie may have made 2 more confessions, including one on a digital device, according to a lawyer representing the Petito family. A Florida-based attorney, Pat Riley. And I got to say, Pat Riley is very good at what he does. I like Pat. I think they got a really good attorney to represent them, as well as the interest of Gabby Petito and justice for her. Who was handling the civil suit on behalf of Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, said the FBI told him of other possible confessions made by Brian Laundrie, a source confirmed with dailymail.com. One confession was believed to have been recorded on a digital device. The second confession was made in some type of written form. Riley said from what he was told, the confessions are somewhat different. So it sounds like there may be some changes in the original confession that we all saw. And there were several, potentially if there's two, there could be multiple, even more than the two. They're still working on, deciphering what information they can get related to what happened to Gabby. Riley said from what he was told, the confessions were somewhat different. DailyMail.com reached out to Petito's lawyer, Pat Riley, to confirm the existence of the additional Laundrie confession, but were unable to reach him. So it doesn't look like this information is coming from the attorney, but rather a source. In June, Riley appeared on News Nation claiming that the Laundrie's attorney, Steve Bertolino, was in possession of a letter from Roberta to her son that reportedly reads, "Burn after you read this" on the envelope. This woman, man, she is just something. But anyways, if you guys want to hear that whole story related to the additional confessions, it's on dailymail.com, dailymail.com. I thought that would be interesting for you guys as well. Interesting for me, we felt that intuition. We felt when we were out there that dry bag, and we've said it from the beginning, that we believed there was something in there. We want to know what is in the notebook. I can't even remember how many times Olivia, myself, or Jonathan would say we are dying to find out what is in that envelope. And this is or not envelope, but that dry bag. We knew his notebook was in there, and we wanted to see that, and we couldn't because the case remained open, and they didn't. They combined both of them together. For example, like when Brian was found dead, I thought they would close out the Gabby Petito case so we could get access to those records, and then they would have Brian's case separately. But when we reached out to Northport Police and the FBI, they said no. They are both combined, and once Brian's is closed out, they're closed out. So we had to wait until the disposition of everything related to Brian Laundrie before we could do like records requests and everything like that. Right now, there's not a whole lot of news related to Serenity McKinney. Many of you guys know I tried to reach out to find out if her mom had the baby. They won't tell me. So Justice for All graciously offered to reach out to family members to see if he can acquire some information related to that. I know he's been working very, very tirelessly on the Justice for Bond saga, so I don't know if he's had an opportunity to do that, but I have not heard one way or another. As soon as I find out, I am happy to let you guys know. Dylan Rounds. So this is a new article that just came out related to Dylan Rounds, came out about 17 hours ago, and just wanted to read a little update on it. Dylan Rounds, 19-year-old. By the way, his birthday is August 1st, guys. So his birthday is literally, what, two or three days away. And his 20th birthday. It's just sad. It's just sad. Dylan Rounds, 19-year-old farmer who left his Idaho home to work a plot of land in Utah, has been missing for 2 months. I'm hanging in the best I can, but the not knowing is pure torture, his mother says. James Adrian Brenner, 58, who was squatting, not acquitted, I don't know where I got that, who was squatting on the neighbor's land, is being held on federal firearms charges and has been named a suspect in the Rounds disappearance. No charges have been filed in direct connection to the missing person case. Now, which we learned that this is not just a missing person case. This is actually a homicide investigation. I want to make sure that we are clear. I don't care what this article states. This is a homicide investigation. This is no longer a missing person. Law enforcement nor the family of Dylan Rounds believes that he is alive. So we are and that was confirmed in federal court that this is a homicide investigation. Brenner was convicted of shooting and seriously wounding another man at a campsite in Maryland in 1986 in a work-related dispute, according to authorities there. He's had numerous other convictions over the years and has served federal time, records show. So it's different being in a county jail as opposed to a state prison, as opposed to a federal inmate. So he is a federal inmate. When Dylan Rounds was not located early on in the search efforts, the investigation focused on possibility of Dylan being a victim of a crime. Chief Deputy Cave Palmer of the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office said in a statement, according to the neighbors identified in court documents as DH, at some point after Round's disappearance, Brenner asked him to conceal 3 black powder guns and a 22 caliber rifle without a serial number. After being contacted by the FBI, DH gave the weapons over to authorities, citing past felony convictions. They charged Brenner with being a felon in possession of a firearm. Another local man, Chase Venstra, which we now know is no longer being looked at in connection with the Dylan Rounds disappearance, because again, we found that out from a woman that went to the federal courthouse and was found to not be in connection with this homicide or any part of this homicide investigation. But a local man, Chase Venstra, who is also facing federal firearms charges in connection with the case, authorities served a search warrant at his home prior to Round's disappearance and found 2 guns. Then by listening to jailhouse phone calls after the teen went missing, police said they learned he had more weapons hidden with an associate. Dylan Round's 20th birthday will pass on August 1st, and the family is urging supporters to plant seeds in his honor. I have been mailing out seed packets all week to all over the country, and we have local places where they can be picked up, Cooley says. We have had an amazing amount of people join us from all over the world. So if you guys want to go get your seeds or order your seeds, please do so. As they gear up to plant seeds, she said the family is awaiting the results of crime lab testing on some evidence. So that tells us that all the forensics have not come back yet, which is, it's at least some information that can help guide us, right? It's some factual information that can help guide us. We are waiting to hear back, she said. That we are hoping will give us some answers. So they're still waiting for the forensics to come back. Hopefully it'll give them some answers. She's, obviously a mom that's lost her child, that she believes her son is dead, and she just wants the SOBs responsible locked up and never to be able to see the daylight again. And I can understand that. As many of you know, there's been a lot of fundraising efforts in place for Michael Monkey Vaughn in Fruitland, Idaho. We are currently, just for those that are joining, we are currently working with a group of people, creators that would like to go out and do our part in Idaho. We're kind of eyeballing dates right now. Nothing has been confirmed, but it is looking like it will be an August date. So as soon as I have the dates and the budget that I personally need, this is not budget for everybody. This is just going to be my budget. The other creators are going to deal with their budgets, with their people, but this will be just my budget, and it'll only be for the flight and the auto rental and some gas. I'm going to pay for the hotel myself or the Airbnb. I'm hoping I can get a good deal on that, and it won't be very much, but I'll let you guys know it as soon as I have the total figure of what's needed. So I got to go see you later. Have an amazing day. You got it. Amanda, take care, dear. Take care. So his reward is constantly building. I don't know what it is, nor am I going to go over it because it's so late in the day. I need to start studying and getting everything set up for tomorrow. I apologize for the late start today, but again, I didn't want to interrupt. It actually was nice taking the morning off and letting Dolly run things. Right. Little change. A little change. Nothing wrong with a little change. Let's just keep going. We already know Chase Ventura is not part of the investigation into Dylan Brown's disappearance. Oops, sorry guys. Oh, and be careful for those that are friends with me. Be careful when I'm live sending me messengers, because when I get there, it's going to pop up, and I don't want people seeing your stuff. What if you said, "Oh, I hate so and so," and as soon as I change to the Facebook page, it pops up and everybody sees it because I didn't know it was there, right? So, anyways, let me just go through here and just get these all off my. All right, I'm almost done. I think this is the last one I need to do that for. What is this? Hold on a second. Let me see what this is. Why does WJHL keep putting this out as if it's fact? They have done zero fact finding. It's irritating. I'm almost ready to put WJHL's number on this page so you guys can tell them, hello, like, have you checked to verify that this is Don Wells' handwriting? Because it's definitely not Don Wells' handwriting. And they keep posting this as if it is. Ooh, he dropped another letter. He's not dropping it, ma'am. I don't know what to tell you. It's not his handwriting. It's not his handwriting. Summer's worldly father. What? Who the hell talks like that? Give me a break. Cut it out. Cut it out. Sure. Oh, and there's some information that just came out, and I wanted to read this to you guys. 13 Investigates. Pretty interesting stuff. I guess we'll just play it, a little bit of it, and stop it. Of course, the commercial. Everybody got to make their money.
If you had all the power and speed of Frontier Fiber Internet.
We'll turn that off just for a second while it goes through. That's loud. I would like Vios to be near my house. Right now, I have to deal with Spectrum, and I don't like it. I really don't. I can get better speeds for the same cost on Fios that as I can do Spectrum. I hate it. Here we go. Really?
It was February 13th, 2017, the day before Valentine's Day, a day that would leave two families mourning, a community frightened, and investigators puzzled for years to come. It was on that cold Monday that 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German went to the Monon High Bridge in Delphi. The young teen girls had the day off from school. They were dropped off, then disappeared. A search would discover their tragic end the next day. Their bodies discovered in a wooded area not far from that bridge along the banks of Deer Creek. What we would all soon learn is that Libby, in those terrifying moments, captured evidence that would help police in the search for the killer. On February 15th, 2017, police released cell phone images from Libby's phone showing a suspect in the case coming across the bridge toward the girls. A week later, police released audio from Libby's phone.
As 13 News reported on the case, we spoke with Ronald Logan, the man who lives at the property where the girls were found.
Has this gotten to you? Has this played on your mind?
Yeah, the longer it goes, yes, it does. Yeah, it's I'm not sure if.
Now, I just want you guys to know that it's this is the older gentleman. I don't know if he can wrestle with two, girls that size. I mean, I don't know. He seems older. It doesn't sound like he was in good health because, as we all know, this man is no longer with us.
But comprehend what all's happened yet. Two young kids playing, thinking they're having a wonderful day, Valentine's Day, and ends up in one of the largest tragedies in Carroll County history.
In your backyard?
In my backyard. Yeah, it's a big thought. Not a good one.
Turns out, the FBI was also talking to Logan. An agent at the time noted that Logan's voice was not inconsistent with that of the voice captured on German's phone. The FBI notes an interview with Logan.
It was not inconsistent, not consistent. So they're saying that it is possible that it was his voice. Am I understanding that correctly? Let's go back and check that out. His voice is not inconsistent with that of the person in the video. And remember, we heard from his ex-girlfriend saying that he was a very violent man, volatile man, and that many people feared the Ron Logan. And now they're saying his voice is not inconsistent. Now, if it said it was not consistent, that would exclude him. This is saying his voice is not inconsistent, which is odd language because it seems not correct. It seems like it should say his voice is inconsistent or consistent. But having a not and inconsistent, I don't know. Double negative. Double negative makes a positive. So this is kind of that word salad stuff that we all have to be accustomed to with dealing with these types of report. So it sounds like that his voice could potentially have been the one that was heard. Now, many of you guys know I have not looked into this case all that much and have been having the audience help me, with the information that they've known, because this case has been going on since 2017 and still no suspects or persons of interest have been named, and nobody has been arrested directly in connection with these two girls that were brutally murdered. So it sounds to me like it's possible that that could have been his voice.
On German's phone. The FBI notes an interview with Logan's relative in which the relative tells the agent that Logan called them the morning of February 14th, 2017, and asked them to lie about where he had been the previous afternoon. That was before the bodies of the girls were found. 13 News was there as.
And that's a little concerning. We read that on here as well. And at least my summation, because I didn't understand when I heard he was inconsistent with the voice on her recording, it made me think that he couldn't have been the person that left that message. But now that I'm actually reading it on here and it having not inconsistent, that means he's consistent. That means his voice is consistent with that on the radio or on that audio, and he's having people lie to him or lie for him about what he was doing that day. And law enforcement did figure that out. But then he dies. What was it, in 2019? A couple years later, I don't know how he dies, if it was natural causes or something else. Yeah, I don't know either, Jackie. I don't know whether that was a mistake or not. I've just never seen a properly worded report say not inconsistent. It usually says inconsistent or consistent. That not seems, I don't know. I don't know what to take from that. I don't know what to take from that. Maybe I think your guess is as good as mine. It sounds like they're saying his voice is consistent with the man that they heard on Libby's phone.
Logan's home was searched.
More than a dozen investigators worked for hours, searching Ron Logan's home, his garage, barns, and property. They are looking for clues to whether Logan is connected to the murders.
Basically, we're trying to either clear him or look at him even harder. That's what we're trying to do here.
Abby Williams and Libby German were found murdered on Logan's property.
I hate when it does that. Let's listen to that again. I think what he just said is super important.
Clear him or look at him even harder.
Clear him or even look at him harder. Clear him or look at him harder. We have how many cases that people aren't cleared in? And while law enforcement says that they have not cleared this person or that person, but we know based upon their investigation, they're not looking at them. So.
That's what we're trying to do here.
Abby Williams and Libby German were found murdered on Logan's property. Days later, he walked us to the secluded crime scene, appearing shaken by what occurred here.
I can't really wrap my emotions around it. It's just so mind-boggling.
Later, when someone used social media claiming Logan resembles investigators' prime suspect, the 77-year-old was understandably angry.
I was cleared by the authorities.
I personally don't think that he looks like this grainy photo. I really don't. I'm not sure if maybe my eyes aren't focused, but I truly do not believe that this man here looks like that man on the bridge, even with a hat and everything else. His face is too narrow. No mustache on the bridge. Yeah, and it looks like he's had this mustache. Let's look at that again. Good point. This one almost looks like he has a hat on, but this one almost looks like it's brown hair. Where's my mouse? Apparently can't see it on here. But either way, I think this almost looks like hair as opposed to a hat, dark brown hair. I don't know, but I just don't think he looks like this man here. I just don't. Not from the distance.
Ages ago.
Since then, investigators received new leads and found new information, prompting the search and putting new attention on Logan.
As we've gone into the investigation and have talked to other people, things are just not adding up, and we're just trying to get things added up.
Police arrested Logan earlier this week on a probation.
And how many times have we heard this is not adding up? I mean, we can really kind of dovetail this back to the Summer Wells case, right? How many times law enforcement go to Don and Candus and ask them to fix their timeline because it's not adding up? I mean, these are red flags, and why I always bring them up, and people try to knock them down and say these are insignificant. This doesn't mean anything. It does. It does. It absolutely does.
Violation. He has numerous drunk driving convictions. He's being held without bond. Investigators searched with the help of a canine. They carried away armloads of potential evidence and seized Logan's truck. Police, though, warned against rushing to any conclusions.
This is part of the investigation. This is not our first search warrant. We've done several others other than this residence. We've done some polygraphs. We've done all kinds of things to other people.
In citing reasons for the search warrant, the FBI agent noted that pieces of clothing from one of the victims were missing and that it appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. There were no visible signs of a struggle or fight.
What that means when they say there's no signs of struggle or fight means that they were most likely killed somewhere else and relocated.
Investigators recovered fibers and unidentified hairs at the crime scene. The agent also suspected a souvenir had been taken by the killer and that it was common for perpetrators to memorialize the crime scene with pictures. It's not clear.
So we do know that they do memorialize stuff. We've heard of them taking photos. We've heard of, and they said not all the articles, that may be the telltale sign, not all the articles of clothing were there with the girls. Therefore, that could be the very souvenirs in which they are discussing. That guy died. Yes, Miss Deb, that guy is no longer with us. But if you guys would like to see the rest of this is on WTHR.com. We've made it through about 4 minutes of a 10-minute video. So if you guys would like to go back and watch that, please do. Please do. Very important stuff. It really does kind of explain. And without this video, I would have been very confused about this Ron Logan, possibility of him being associated with it, because, who would move their bodies closer to that home unless it was the stage for the stage, right? Like what person would do that? Move them from one side of the plate, where they were at the park, over to their house and stage them, unless maybe they were saying, I'm going to pull I was set up. I was set up type of thing. You know, why would I put these children this close to my house? It was a setup. Somebody's setting me up. That might have been his defense. I don't know if it was the guy online, because I think they've really honed that in on the computer for, what was his name? Keegan. I think that they found out that but the problem, if I understand it correctly, it's just that multiple people had access to Keegan's computer. And I believe that the conversations with the girls and the setup to meet them at this location was done on the app that was associated with Keegan's computer or Keegan's phone. So I'm not 100% sure if they've linked him, Ron Logan, to that account or not. But based upon that officer we heard from, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? It appears that they are looking at multiple people. I found it funny that Anthony Schatz account, where Anthony Schatz is a law enforcement, or was a law enforcement agent in Alaska, he also had some weird stuff on his computer from what I heard. Again, I have not investigated or dived too much in. It's a rumor that I have not fact found. So I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I heard through the grapevine that Anthony Schatz did in fact have an account, and he was in fact found with unsavory things on his computer as well, which almost leads me to believe that, is this a network that are sharing these types of things around to help people reach out to unsuspecting young youth to meet these grown adults somewhere? I don't know. That is speculative in nature, but it's starting to feel a little probable. The sister, Libby German's sister, is the one that dropped them off. She knew they were begging her. She was running late for work. They begged her to take them to drop them off so they could meet this boy. And she was hesitant because she was running late for work, but decided to do it anyway. And she has, questioned herself, if she just would have just went straight to work, the girls would still be here. And that's something that poor girl will have to forever, blame herself. It's not her fault. Let's be honest. It's not her fault. But just because it's not your fault doesn't stop you from blaming yourself for the rest of your life. And the fact that her sister is no longer with us and will never come home again, I'm pretty sure whether she realizes it or not, she's beating herself up, because those girls may have gone out there one way or another, and she would have had no control. But it's still got to be very, very difficult for her to live with. I can only imagine if something happened to my sister and I dropped no fault of my own, but I have to think that I would forever want to blame myself, because you always want to find somebody to blame, even if that person is yourself, right? That's just kind of, in my opinion, human nature. Kind of sucks. We put a lot on ourselves, even stuff that we shouldn't be owning. And I feel that her sister is doing just that. This was a really sad story that I came across in my morning research, and it was the trial we've talked about. I just released a video about the Colorado store shooter and about how he was deemed incompetent to stand trial. And then I'm also following up on the Cash Gurnan case. And the gentleman, the young man that was accused of killing him, is also considered incompetent to stand trial. Incompetent to stand trial is much different than pleading not guilty by reason of insanity. That is an affirmative defense, whereas incompetent to stand trial means you can't even go to trial because you don't understand what is going on. And They typically have to go to a state hospital and be evaluated and go through a lot of intense therapy, medical, prescription therapy, as well as different types of group therapies, one-on-one therapies, all types of stuff to get you to understand and be able to communicate with your defense counsel, so you can properly be defended against the crime. And so now seems to be it's starting to become a little more common as well, because here we got 3 major cases and they're all incompetent to stand trial. And here's one out of Flagstaff, Arizona, an upcoming trial the reason why I brought this up is because this almost feels, just by the parties involved, similar to that of Summer Wells. Flagstaff, Arizona, the upcoming trial for a grandmother of a 6-year-old Flagstaff boy who died after being locked in a closet and denied food has been called off. Ann Martinez was scheduled to go on trial next week on first-degree murder charges, kidnapping, and child endangerment. Instead, a judge will determine whether she's psychologically fit to stand trial, i.e., if she's incompetent. It's a competency hearing. Coconino County Superior Court Judge Ted Reed made a referral Wednesday for the determination of competency. Now, just because they're motioning and making a referral to determine competency, it doesn't mean that the person's going to be established as incompetent. This is just the first step to make sure that they are competent to stand trial. You never want to go to court on capital charges or this type of crime and somebody not acknowledge the fact that you may be incompetent, because that is grounds for an appeal later down the road. And when the conviction is levied, you want that conviction to stay. You want that to stick with them. You don't want them to have those types of arguments that could force a new trial on someone. So this is an important matter. Hopefully this person is found competent to stand trial so this can be moved forward. Martinez has pled not guilty to charges of death of her grandson, Deshaun Martinez. An autopsy found the boy weighed 18 pounds. 18 pounds. Oh my gosh, it's 6 years old. He died from starvation in March 2020. Both parents, Elizabeth Archibek, and Anthony Martinez, also face the same charges as the grandmother. And this case is being tried separately from the grandmother's case. The boy's parents initially attributed to their son's malnutrition state to a medical condition and to an ingesting diet or caffeine pills. Eventually, they told police they kept Deshaun and his older brother in a closet for 16 hours a day and gave them little to eat. The brother survived. So there's some good news. One of them did survive. One of them didn't. What makes a parent do that to a child? I mean, I can't imagine. You hear about these things in movies when I was growing up. Remember that one lady, the wire guys, you remember that? The wire hangers? I can't remember the name of the movie, but she liked plastic or satin hangers, and there was wire hangers in her kid's closet, and it was a movie. It was fictional. And you think about that kind of stuff only in movies, right? Only in movies. But this happens in real life every single day. Just sad. Still not a lot going on. There's been a lot of fundraising for Oakley Carlson. We talked about that. The reward is now up to $75,000. Getting back to John Benet Ramsey, everybody, please be doing your part. We want to finally get this case solved. We want to, about time. What did I tell you guys yesterday? I told you, I just ran across this article. And I told you guys, I don't understand why the father is not taking legal action to force the hand of the Colorado police to turn over the DNA and John Benet Ramsey case. Father to pursue legal action if Colorado ignores the request for independent DNA testing, thank God. Thank God. And I hope somebody is reaching out to him and helping this man, because, you know, this stuff costs money. And I'm sure over the last quarter of a century that this man has been fighting justice for his daughter. I pray that somebody is, you know, helping this man out, either one, pro bono, or two, definitely a low fee, because you will be recognized. You will be getting plenty of free advertisement if you get involved in this case. So I do hope that they are doing John Ramsey, you know, well. And I'm glad to hear this, because as I stated, if this had happened to me, and I'm fighting with a outfit, a law enforcement outfit that's obstructing their own investigation, you damn right I'm going to be bringing my attorneys in. I don't care if I had to sell something to pay for them, but I'm bringing it in. This man should not be having to beg a law enforcement agency to do the right thing. Law enforcement agencies should be bending over backwards to clear this case once and for all. Who cares who made mistakes? Who cares? The ending result matters. And by hindering this, you're only adding insult to injury. So I really do hope Boulder, Colorado does the right thing and sends this over to be processed properly. And for those that have been helping out with this, please do not forget, those that are just joining that would like to help out. How can you help out? It is very simple. We are trying to be the pimple on the butt of the government in Colorado, primarily Jared Polis. And I am behooving anybody that's watching this channel and other creators to please post this on their channel, please. This is super important. We are making history here. We are helping in solving a case, and we need to reach out to the governor's office and demand that they send the DNA evidence over to be properly processed. Again, quarter of a century has gone by, and there is still evidence that has not been processed in 25 years. I think that is a miscarriage of justice. Shame on Boulder, Colorado. Shame on them. I can't express that enough. And shame on this governor if he's not willing to help. But you know what? We're going to try to help sway his decision on whether to get involved in this or not. We're going to be brought in. You're going to have to turn me down in the background. But let me just get through this contact. So Colorado Governor Jared, I'm going to have to mute you. Colorado Jared Polis, you can reach him at 303-866-2471. You can send him a letter by mail to the State Capitol Building, 200 East Colfax Avenue, room 136, Denver, Colorado, 80203. Or you can call, mail them a letter, and email them if you so choose. You can call them and email them if you so choose. But just please do this regularly. You know, every couple days, please be reaching out until we get some news as to whether they're going to be processing this DNA. But you can reach out to him by email at Governor Polis. That's GOVERNORPOLIS at state.co.us. So any help that you can provide, again, you will be making history. You will be part of history, and we need to fight for this girl. Okay, I'm ready for you, Guidance, whenever you're ready to unmute.
Is that better?
Yes, it is.
Okay, sorry about that. I was playing with my settings. That is amazing news and great news that they're going to do DNA. One of my good friends who's a detective, he said most are pretty much going to transition to DNA one day, which is awesome news.
Well, this is not, no. They're fighting to have this, like, this DNA has not been processed in 25 years. And Denver is not wanting to turn the DNA sampling over to the lab. They're not wanting to process it or turn it over to the lab, but they have untested evidence.
Right, and that's amazing, because if finally her dad is standing up, that's basically what I was trying to get to, is her dad is actually, she needs somebody in her corner. Mm-hmm. And he should have took legal action a while ago, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I agree. There are many people that still believe that him and Patsy had something to do with it. You know, I'm with as much kick up and fuss that Boulder, Colorado is giving about this evidence. It's making me question whether they did, and the fact that they've been publicly cleared by law enforcement. It kind of makes me feel that they are not responsible for their daughters. That this is part of that 7 percentile where it truly was somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. But I also wonder if it's somebody familiar to the family too.
I believe that. Absolutely believe that. I believe that it's somebody familiar with the family. I believe it's somebody very close to the family. I believe it could be somebody that lived in their very community.
Yep. I also contemplate if it was somebody from that party that night.
And they had that, and somebody had said that she loved Christmas, and she brought people, even strangers, into her house for walks through her house, almost like a Christmas museum around Christmas time, bringing all types of people in that helps them give the layout of the house.
Yep. It can definitely help with staging. That's why if you look at Bravo and all the people on there, I saw that the ones that are the most open, like on the reality shows, the housewives with their houses, it gives a heads up to where everything is and how they get robbed in general. So it definitely, their guard was definitely down and they were too comfortable in their area. I give that 100% with affirmation on that.
Yeah. So I just want this, I really truly just want this case put to bed. And if it's John or Patsy that's responsible, I want that to come out. I think this idea that we have to guess who it is at this point, a quarter century later, is ridiculous. And I don't think John Ramsey should have to pass away before they decide to do it. Because if he truly is responsible, I want his ass in jail.
I agree. And unfortunately, sometimes when it's them showing their bad hand or covering up is when they're negligent to give the DNA away, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that makes it very suspicious.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that he has to go through this length, you know, this is extreme when you have to sue a police department to have them turn over evidence to be properly processed. That to me should be the biggest slap in the face for any law enforcement agency. Just do the right thing.
Yep. Slap in the face, and definitely puts up some red flags on their department.
Yeah, it does. For me, it does. And I'm trying to take away everything. You know, we have been conditioned to think that these parents were responsible because back then, that's the conclusion everybody jumped to because it's always the parents. We heard them say that, and we believe that too because we have case studies and stuff like that says the majority of these cases are 93% the parents, but there's still that 7% where it's not. And I have myself have jumped to conclusions. So the eye-opening for me was watching Lou Smith break into that house through that very window completely unannounced, and nobody knew. You couldn't hear him, you couldn't see him, and he's there.
Yep. And that brings you back to the Christmas tours. Definitely, it's the same scenario as breaking in and entering because they can case the area. Yeah. As many other predators do. They stalk their prey.
Yeah.
In other forms of...
They could have went down there and then locked that window.
Yep. Like, oh, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Hold on 1 second. And then, boom. And they wouldn't realize it because they would have thought
Go ahead. Sorry.
And sorry, I got a little bit of a lag. Yeah. But they might not even realize it because of the time of the year, and also when it comes into the factors of they're just using the restroom, and it's John A, for example, and they don't think twice about it, and they never open that window because it's in the dead of winter, so they would never question or look either.
No, and you don't really go around and check all your windows after. At least I don't. Like, I've had parties here, and what do? I know I have all my windows locked. I don't go around after my parties and check my windows to see if they're locked. I need to probably start doing that, but I don't. It's not what I do. But I do lock the front and back door. All the doors I check to make sure just in case my company decided to go out a different door than the one that I'm used to going out. I check those religiously after a party, but never once.
Not a window.
Not a window.
Now, if it was a teenage party or your early 20s partying, then yeah, but not an adult
I
party.
was too irresponsible to check anything. I probably slept with my door unlocked.
Not me. Everything was locked. And this kind of takes me back to why we moved to Florida. Was they actually broke our window open with a knife. They slit the seal open and jimmied it open to come after me. And nobody heard it. My dad was sitting out on the couch having a midnight smoke.
Yeah.
He didn't even hear it sitting on the couch. He came out to the guy right there in the window over me.
That's insane. Yeah, that's insane.
So people can be pretty tricky. And then they brought the canines out and was like, oh, it's sprinkling. They can't track them.
Yeah, and people don't realize that, the environment, the weather, snow, heat, wind, it can change the direction that those dogs go in. And people are like, well, for Summer Wells, for example, oh, well, why did they go down here? We don't know. Maybe the wind changed. Maybe it moved the scent that way.
Yep, and it's kind of the same scenario as decomposition. The weather factors definitely factor into that scenario too, if you want to kind of have compare the two. It's the same factor. Weather changes the body and weather changes the scent.
Yeah.
Totally depends on the factors.
Yep. So how are you doing today, love?
I am good. I don't know if you saw my message.
I haven't seen anything yet because I'm sorry.
Well, my little one of my tornadoes had a concussion yesterday, so I've been kind of spinning. And then I finally got my foot checked out, and so I'm going to probably need 3 surgeries. But other than that, I can't complain.
Oh, great. You're just in a lot of pain, but nothing to complain about, nothing to see over here.
My boss always says, oh, this is nothing compared to what you went through. No wonder you give it 2 shakes of a lamb tail.
There you go.
Love that saying.
Actually, you're really pulling a mama bullhorn.
I love it. I say it at work now too, and they just laugh at me. They're like, "What?" Yeah.
Yeah, shake.
Yeah. But I'm really enjoying how you're talking about multiple cases, because all of us follow all the cases and what stumps. And I give Jimmy credit for saying this. And you for doing it, is where you put out multiple cases and multiple stories all out there and on the same live, because you can only go on for 5 hours about the same evidence. Yes, you can micro critique it, but also some people want to hear, so they panel hop and channel hop because they don't have everything they go to.
Right.
Yeah. And I like that, because that also keeps people in more focused, because you're able to touch base on a lot of the cases that has their interest, as to opposed to just one, and then they jump.
Yeah.
So, and it also gives more interaction.
You never know what's going to come out from day to day. I mean, you may be not have anything like on Serenity McKinney. We come here every day and we look, just do a search for, and we don't know what we're going to find. But what if tomorrow there's breaking news or an update and nobody's paying attention? So every morning I've got, right now, I think it's 39. Let me see how many screens it is. Hold on a second.
Like last night when I was like, Austin's home.
38 different searches on my morning research is what's here. And I keep adding to it. And then as cases are resolved, I'll remove those cases and then put the anniversaries in the calendar, so we remember them and can, go back to them on an annual basis. But we've got a lot of cases. I mean, there's some cases that I forgot about that I just added yesterday, like Naomi Irion, Cassie Carley. We have not. Yep. How about Alec Baldwin? That whole thing with Alec Baldwin.
Yep.
And then we have one that many people may have actually forgotten about, and it was the disappearance of Amy, what is it, Bechtel? She was, working to become an Olympian, and just disappeared. And I forgot all about this because it happened, many years ago, almost like I think it was like a year after, I think it was like within a year after John Benet Ramsey that she just disappeared. And so there's just, more stuff that I'm adding that need to be talked about that we've gotten away from or forgot about that's pretty interesting and sparks my curiosity. And I figured, well, if it's sparking my curiosity, it might be sparking somebody else's curiosity that's in my chat.
Yep. And also they could have had interest way back then, but being that I wouldn't have news exposure, or it's very easy just to move on to the next case of whatever's trending sometimes too. So it's always, somebody that's tuned in like, oh, I used to follow that. I know A, B, C, and D. And then it's like you relight the movement for those cases, which I think is really awesome. There's one here in Sarasota that has gotten my attention, but it's pretty cold case.
Which one is it?
Cindy in a Can.
Cindy, say it again?
Well, the name of the case is Cindy in a Can. It's Cynthia Rogers.
Okay. So
it's a cold case from 1992.
1990. That's probably why I don't recognize it, because I'm like, I'm like, I don't even recognize. You're just one county over. How did I not hear about this?
Yeah, she was last seen a year before her body was found back in her pool in a trash can. A year later. So I've been digging into that, and it's off of Gallup Avenue. I can always send you the other information, but that one's pretty cold, and that one's perked my interest because deep diving into the code cases made me kind of deep dive into our own counties too.
Yeah. Actually, might not be a good thing to get out and start reaching out to people and seeing what they can remember from way back when. You never know.
Yep. There's this was back when certain people had more free range to do their jobs than now. So it's a little complex.
Yeah, I agree. Well, honey, thank you. Thank you so much for coming. I got a couple more things and I'm going to get off here. I'm already exhausted.
You're good. I just wanted to say thank you for what you're doing. And I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure. Shoot.
What's your plans for tomorrow again?
I'm going out to Osceola County to the Waukeeva Springs to do some more searching. I don't know if we're going to the Springs. We may go out there, but we're changing our search technique just a little bit for Paola Miranda Rosa. She's the one that was swimming in the Waukeeva Springs and just disappeared. And her car was left at the park along with her keys and her cell phone. So it was, the police just think she was eaten up by a gator and has given no other thought about it. And at this point, with her keys, wallet, and cell phone being in the car, it's starting to have a different appeal, especially since there's been no clothing, no nothing resembling a gator attack. Like there's nothing. Nobody's found anything.
Yeah, there would be definitely something. Even like when they say there's an animal attack with Summer, there would be some type of evidence because a gator submerges and rolls.
But even if she had the tight clothes on, at this point, those clothes would have come off.
Yeah.
And there's still
the bay. Yeah. Well, I wanted to check in because a little birdie told me to reach out about that. And wanted some more information on it, and so I'll touch base with you in the background on that one.
Okay, yeah.
Because they are interested. More boots on the ground are interested as well for that, but not necessarily tomorrow. But if we can plan something, they are definitely interested in being boots on the ground.
Very, very good. Yeah, we're gonna be helping this family out. We went out and helped them out. That's the one I had the quarter-size blisters on my feet. We did over 20 square miles of searching in that dense wood out there in Waukeeva Springs. It was no joke. It was hot. It was muggy. It was tiresome. I couldn't walk for like 2 days.
Oh yeah.
It was rough. I can tell you right now, it was probably one of the roughest searches I think I was ever a part of.
I believe it. The swamps are not easy to track through. That's
over, under. I mean, sometimes there's no way over a tree. You can only crouch down and try to sliver under a little, it's rough on the, somebody, when I was complaining about my feet hurting, they're like, oh, I went to the store and I went here and I dropped. Yeah, on flat surface. Go do it where I was at. Let's see how you can hang once you're out there in that swamp.
Yeah, and it's more hilly up there too than down here. Down here, like I told, what was it? We were talking about in Tennessee, where I said our biggest hill is from the beach to the main road.
Right.
Otherwise, it gets more rolly up there on top of the soft ground and the wet and the mud, and there's too many factors in that, which makes it dangerous in itself.
And there's places back there you sink down damn near 9 inches.
Oh yeah, back when I grew up in Northport in the Laundrie neighborhood, the property was very much like that. That was before there was maybe 5 houses in that neighborhood. And it was the same way. But I didn't want to keep you too long, but thank you so much. I love you.
Honey, I love you. Take care and give those monsters kisses and loves for me.
Oh, I will. They're on nap time. That's why it's so quiet.
Oh, nice.
I'll see you guys in the chat.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Our very own Guidance in Life with TLC. If you haven't gone to her channel, go check it out, guys. She's got a great channel. I love her channel. She needs to be built up because she's good at what she does. So let's go out there and see what we can do. So Naomi, if you guys remember the Troy driver, she was at a grocery store or at a store somewhere, and he just snatched her, and she was a bigger girl. I mean, she's beautiful. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but she was, she was built like a brick house, and it was very sad to find out that she met her demise and what he could have done to her. And there were just some things that were just coming out. Man accused. I just wanted to read this so you guys are updated, because I know many of us were looking into this case at the time it happened. There's this lady that just disappeared and she was abducted in daylight. So here he is, the despicable man right there, Troy driver. Defense lawyers for accused murderer Troy driver have requested a mental competency evaluation. Everybody's trying to be deemed as incompetent so they can't stand trial for these despicable. This like in the last 2 days, 4 suspects, 2 of which have been deemed incompetent, 1 that is going for a competency hearing, and now here they're asking for a competency hearing. But again, once they ask for it, they have to give it, because if they don't, and they go to court and he claims he was incompetent and didn't understand his rights at trial, now you got an appeal and a new trial years later, and we don't want that. So determine whether he's competent. They claim that he may not have been able to. They claim that he may not be able to help with his own defense, which is one of the prongs, one of the elements that need to be proved, so they can prove incompetency, because that's the reason why they deemed that shooter in the Colorado supermarket shooter incompetent, was because he was not able to help and aid in his own defense, which is one of, like I said, is a major element that needs to be proven with a reasonable degree of rational understanding as required by Nevada law. So they're stating the law, and they don't believe he can help. They further request that any future proceedings be suspended until the decision can be made as to whether he is allegedly competent to stand trial. Also, driver's lawyer have filed an amended motion to dismiss his murder charges to include a newly filed SA felony charge. His lawyer also proposed that a court order a modified briefing schedule to include both of these charges concurrently. So they're trying to, if he gets convicted of both crimes, instead of them being consecutive, they are concurrent. That means that he's serving the time on them together. So his attorney's representing him well, it appears. I'm not going to go through the details of this. If you guys would like to see the motion to dismiss or the timeline related to the events, you can go on 2news.com, which will have your update, or you can do an easy Google search, just Naomi Irion, I-R-I-O-N, and you should be able to find the story and can read it. Cassie Carley, there's not a whole lot really going on here. They did find her, and since the day that they found her in Alabama, not a whole lot of information has been coming out about her ex, about where they are in this case, but I'm pretty sure he should be back here in Florida. I'm pretty sure he was extradited back here some months ago. So maybe that should be my focus, is reaching out and to confirm that he is back here stateside. There was also some things that were coming out related to Alec Baldwin. Many of you guys know, while he was on the set of one of his movies, he had he was holding a gun, and the gun was loaded. I don't know how he shot the girl with a loaded gun. You would presume that all props, especially gun props, would have like their pins removed, or, you know, I don't know, in this day and age with all the digital media out there, if we're even required to have bullets or have an explosion coming out of the muzzle of the gun. I don't know if that's necessary, because all that can be added in with the digital creativity of artists now. You don't need loaded guns or real guns as props on these movie sets anymore, in my opinion. But again, you know, I don't know. Hilaria Baldwin, enemies seek to destroy my husband, Alec. Hilaria Baldwin, let me make sure this doesn't hop on. Pinned a lengthy post about the dark part of her husband, Alec Baldwin's career, claiming enemies seek to destroy him. I believe anybody of prestige and power, there are elements out there to seek and destroy them. I really, truly believe that, because, you know, even as we grow on here as creators, the larger we become, the more we attract, the more crazy we attract, the more negative stuff we attract. And I have to think, in the position of what Alec Baldwin is, it's a cutthroat industry. So I have to think that you meet a lot and make a lot of enemies along the way. The former yoga instructor, 38, posted a black and white photo of herself resting with 30 Rock alumni 64 on Instagram Wednesday. To enter your world and to become your person has been both a joy and an eye-opening experience, she captioned in the snap. I am forever grateful every day. However, Hilaria, can't pronounce her name right, probably saying it completely wrong, but either way, went on to write, the darker part is seeing behind the curtain at how some of this business can function, and the blows and sacrifices that someone in the public eye takes for speaking up for what they believe and for helping others. I agree with that. And there she is. He looks entirely too old for her, but we're not going to go there because they live a different lifestyle, right? Enemies of these missions seek to destroy you in order to delegitimize your voice and your purpose. You know, I can kind of understand that. I understand that, she continued, noting that she witnessed the actor's dark moments. The former Mom Brain podcast host added that she has experienced dehumanization herself. So it happens, folks. It happens all over. But I would like to know, oh my goodness. The couple share their 6 children, 7th on the way. Lots of kids. Are they adopted, or were they theirs naturally? Woo, that's a lot of kids. Many of you guys don't know. Olivia wants 10. I told her I'm not babysitting for her. I said, if I have to babysit, I'm filling them up with sugar and sending them home with really loud, noisy toys. And we're going to be monitoring this case as well. I haven't followed it, but it did pique my curiosity. And this is about Amy Joy Rowe Bechtel, if I'm saying it correctly. She disappeared July 24th, 1997, declared legally dead in 2004, is an American woman who disappeared while presumably jogging in the Wind River Mountains, approximately 15 miles south of Lauder, Wyoming. Despite extensive investigation and investigative work and media portrayals, her case remains unsolved as of 2022. She's declared legally dead in 2004 at the behest of her husband, renowned rock climber Steve Bechtel. There's some other stories. I don't know why I hit the Wikipedia one, but there's something in the news that came out because that's what drove me to this channel. But anyways, what I found interesting about her is she was actually training for the Olympics. She was training for the Olympics, and it always made me wonder, was this a rival that may have done something to her? Remember who was it? Nancy. Remember the ice skating champion, and she whacked the other ice skater in the knee, Nancy Kerrigan. That's kind of ringing a bell? Does that ring a bell to anybody? Remember that whole thing? Let me see if I'm right on that one. But this makes me wonder, is it something like that? Yeah, it was Nancy Kerrigan, the figure skater. But I can't remember who hit who, but Tanya Harding. That's it. Thank you, y'all. Thank you. Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. It just kind of gives me that kind of feeling because I really truly believe that she was like ready. She was close. I don't know, these sports and these women and, I don't know, but it makes me wonder because she was training to become an Olympian and she was doing very, very well. It makes me wonder, was it one of her competing members? I don't know, but it still has not been solved yet. So, and then of course we did go over Kendra Hanks. Kendra Hanks is the lady that the very first story we talked about. So that's kind of it. That's kind of it for me today. What are you guys up to? You guys want to talk about anything? Anything particular? We have the link up top if you guys would like to come on. I'm not opening the phone lines up today because I don't have them set up and I'm just not feeling it. So if you guys want to come up on panel. I can just keep it on my face if you don't want your face seen, or you can turn your camera off. You have the option to turn your camera off. Oh, crap. Let me think about that, Anissa. I forgot today's Friday. Let me think about that because I've got to get up at the crack of dawn and be out of the house because we're going over to Osceola County and Olivia's going to be here early in the morning. Let me think about that. If we do that, we may have to bump the time up earlier so we're done earlier so I can get to bed. But let me think. Yeah, come on up, Amy. Anybody's more than welcome to come up. Hey, Batgirl. Well, if you need to sell some kids before you sell them, send them over to Bullhorn Betty Boot Camp. You'll be impressed with what I can do with children. And I do it without violence. I do it without bribery, too. That's okay, Barb. Nobody's really a good speaker. You don't have to be a good speaker. That's why we have conversations. It's like picking up the phone and calling your friend. You just have a conversation. Just everybody can hear the conversation. That's all. Hey, Amy, hold on. Let me get you.
No, I look like my hair is just bad today. No, it's so many cases I'm just to keep track of lately. It's just so hard. I just don't know what to say.
It's hard and it's sad.
And then these abuse cases, like the more I hear about it, it's like my brain gets jarred about stuff I witnessed as a child, like you woulda, shoulda, coulda went to save kids, Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm going to really speak about a specific case, but, it just reminded me of when I was visiting my grandmother in Massachusetts. And we used to hang out with a lot of kids in the neighborhood. It was like in the summer. I must have been like 10, 11, 12. I'm not sure the exact age, but I remember there was one girl that her mother was remarried to a guy and a stepfather. She had a stepfather. And one day they had like 2 family houses, and she forgot the keys to the apartment to get back in the second floor, and no one was going to be home for several hours. And the landlord did not have the key or something. They weren't home, and there was a window open, like upstairs to the porch, that she would be able to gain access into the house to obtain the key to open the door to get into her home. And I remember that someone let her use a ladder to climb, so she was able to get in there and unlock. So a couple days later, I was still visiting my grandmother, and the girl was very upset because they told the family, her mother and stepfather, that she had forgotten the keys, and that house, she had to gain entry to the house. And she showed me on one of her thighs this big welt. And she told me she got punished because she was let in that way, and they took a big wooden like 2x4 and he whacked her on the leg. I didn't even know what to say, but like today, like I wish I can go back. There's so many times when you wish you can go back. I would have wanted to ream the father out and said, "How did you ever make a mistake?" I felt like saying, "How much hope you're putting money away for her therapy, and that she's going to need because of the trauma that you're causing this person." And I just hope people say things when they see things that are wrong, that are going on, and they advocate. So I just wanted to tell you that story. I was just like, it's just so upsetting. And when you
there was
look at
also an era, we had different eras in this country, some good and some not so good. And I think the parental abuse that was acceptable back then is no longer accepted.
I know, but I'm older than you, so it just must have been. I'm like, how much? I'm like 11 years older than you, I believe, and I think it was even worse than when you were growing up.
It was. I know. My parents told me about it, and it was, even from their era, it was not good. It was what we equate to abuse.
It's terrible, but I don't know what else to say. Just hope you have good luck tomorrow. I was going to say no, but I'm very disgusted with that governor. That I don't think you're going to get much with that Colorado governor, because they're trying to recall him. I really think he's soft on crime.
Yeah.
Because when he was elected, they abolished the death penalty. There's just a lot of different things that I think that are going on in that state and in other states. And, and it's funny, the 2 wings of the same bird. Even with the Tennessee governor, he's a different political party, and then they're not doing anything. I wish we had one day where you could call these governors on their phone and like call like Governor Bill Lee and just leave a message about Summer Wells case and the CPS, and just to get a good screen recording of these phone calls, because I've called them and they just don't even listen. You know what I mean?
I want to send them the video inside that house and what those children were living in.
Absolutely.
Why are these parents not charged with something? This is deplorable. This is disgusting. And
it's
they
terrible.
have 4 children living in this squalor.
Disgusting. So I don't know what else. And I'm just was waiting. Now I'm still curious about the Serenity McKinney. I was trying to get Justice's attention on the other stream to see if he had a chance to find out, but I don't think he did.
I don't think he has, because he would have reached out to me with that information. And I know that, my conversations with him as well as Marissa, they have been just day and night, researching and doing stuff for Justice Reform. I just don't think they've had a chance to really come up for air. I think that's coming. But
I hope so. But I don't know what else to say. I just wanted to say hello, and you're doing a very good job. And maybe get you up to use some hashtags on the videos to like get the numbers up. Maybe that will make it more of the people to see the subscribers. So you get more to get the 10,000 milestone. I keep checking every day.
I'm surprised I'm almost there. I mean, I have had a lot of setbacks this year converting over to YouTube. There was a lot of just people that didn't know who I was, and they just came out and attacked instead of, lending. Like if met somebody and I saw that they were a new creator, I'd be trying to give them some advice as opposed to trying to tear them down because, that's just the way I am. I like everybody being doing what they like to do and being successful at whatever it may be, whether it be YouTube or whatever. But
well, in history, but just in my opinion, like in history, when anybody is trying to sound alarm bells to warn people of anything that's very, very dangerous going on in a country or in a situation, and people have this cognitive dissonance, they're gonna say that you're crazy. You know what I mean? Like they're warning people about danger that our government can do to us or that law enforcement is doing, that they just want to, just listen to what they're saying. Oh, it has to be right. Just listen to the TV. That can't be wrong. The TV told me that this is, or I saw it on this report that this is the case. And when you try to challenge that and you try to inform people, you're the crazy one. And when in fact, when it finally comes to a head and that what you've been telling them has been really the true prediction of what's going to happen, then they start saying, oh my God, why didn't I see that? Yeah. So I don't know what else to say, but I don't know, because you have a way of explaining things better than I do.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know. That's about it.
All right,
you have a good weekend. Okay. Good luck tomorrow. Bye. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love people stopping by and saying hi. I always love hearing from Amy and hearing Amy's perspective. I don't really care for Anissa or Robin. I hear their perspective 24/7. I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking. We love Anissa. We love Robin. We love Ronnie. We love you. We love you all. Karen, all my mods. We love you guys. But I did want to, before we close out, Robin. I love you guys. I'm just teasing. Actually, it would be fun if you guys called in every now and again. If you could. Before we leave, I am going to go ahead. I wasn't going to do this, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let me get it up. Give me just a second. Where are my videos? That's the question. Where are the videos? Okay, here it is. Let me see if I can pull it up, see if it goes on the right page, which it doesn't, but that's okay. I want you guys to hear this. Hey YouTube, Bullhorn Betty here. So I came across some of the most disturbing language I've heard come out of Don Wells' mouth since starting the journey on the Summer Wells case. Summer Wells is a missing 5-year-old child that is now 6. She disappeared on June 15, 2021 from Rogersville, Tennessee at her home at 110 Ben Hill Road, according to her parents. She has been missing well over a year, and while we are waiting for more information to come out about the people that may be responsible for her disappearance, a lot of our creators on YouTube are going back and reviewing the information that was readily available in and around the time that she disappeared, searching for clues. While doing that, I came across this clip.
As soon as she turned 18, he raped her on her 18th birthday.
Jesus.
Yeah, because he knew once she turned 18, there wasn't a whole lot she could do about it or whatever. On her 18th fucking birthday. Pretty crazy. There's things she do, but she didn't go crying. She don't go crying and for all attention and blah, blah, blah. She dealt with it. I got to give my daughter props on that.
I'm going to stop it there because at the end of the day, that was some of the most disturbing I have ever heard a father ever say. I know my child went through this, and I got to give her props because she didn't complain and blah, blah, blah. She took it. is basically what he said. More to come out. I will be working on it. I think I'm going to take a break, have a lunch, maybe take a nap, and then I will be back here. I'm going to be preparing the video of some of the things that Don Wells has said to or about Summer Wells, which is equally as disgusting and appalling. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to show the very disturbing language Don has. It's not normal. It's not normal. So I'm hoping I can convey that. Anyways, guys, that was it for our show today. And true. Yes, I've got clips of that too. But that's our show for today, guys. Come back tomorrow. We'll be here. Well, actually, I won't be here tomorrow. I'm going to be out in the swamps of Waukewa Springs, searching for a missing young lady that's been missing for a very long time. And this will be our third trip out there to aid in the search of Paola Miranda Rosa. So for those of you out there, that's where we'll be. I'm going to miss you. If I can go live somewhere out there or on the way back from there, I definitely will be happy to do that. There we go. So just stay tuned, and it's not just going to be me. It's going to be me, Olivia, Mom. JLR said he might come out there. I don't know. And then there will be all the other search people that are also meeting out there to aid in this search as well. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see who all shows up. But definitely Olivia is going to be here. Her and Mom are picking me up around 6:30, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we will be off. So with that, guys, I love you. God bless you. Have a happy Friday, and I'll let you know about tonight's ladies' night. On this channel. Just be searching for the link, because I'm going to be dropping some videos out, so they may not notify you this evening of the ladies' night. So just be on the lookout for that. It'll be hitting between 7 and 8 o'clock if we do it. I will try to make a post on my community tab if we choose to move forward with it tonight. I'm going to try to, because we did we miss? Yeah, we did miss last week because I was at the last weekend. So anyways, I will see you guys soon. I love you, and God bless. Make it a great day, and don't forget to be fearless, folks.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.